All right, hello guys. We're live. I'm here with Jacob Thome again for a throwback live stream. Say hi.
Hey, everybody.
So we're gonna be running down, like the title says, over the big pattern change and winter thoughts. He might not want to give a lot of winter thoughts just because his forecast isn't out yet, so he might not. But we'll see as the viewers start to roll in. If you want to leave questions, we'll be going through the comments and answering all of them. Jacob, do you have access to the live stream comment section?
Yeah, I'm on the page right now, so.
Okay, cool. Pudge Gaming, hello. Sports Weather, sup. Kane Darby, hi. Caden Williams, hey. Dylan Vance, hi from West Virginia. Michael M, wow, you're at 10K subs. Yeah, I noticed that this morning. Or actually, yesterday it happened, I think. So, very appreciative of that. Tim B, hello. Nathan E. Barrel, hi, how are you? Snickerdoodle, hello. Love from Pennsylvania, hey, what's up? Hi from Columbia, Maryland. What's going to happen in the Gulf in the coming week? It's a pretty broad question, but take a look.
Oh, there's the chance of the tropical storm forming in the Gulf in the next week. So
Yeah.
the National Hurricane Center gives it right now a 90% chance of developing within the next 5 days. So that's pretty nice. Or not pretty nice.
Yeah.
It could it could give a lot of wind and rain and that kind of stuff for
Yeah.
Florida.
As we look at that real quick, here we go. It's moving pretty slow right now. Sorry about this, guys.
Dylan Vance says I've seen it going. It's going to start cooling down the next week, or by late next week in the east. I think there's a pretty good chance about that happening. I haven't really looked into it recently because I've been trying to work on my winter forecast, but I have seen it in the periphery.
Yeah, and do you have a are you going to use one of your YouTube channels that's already up, or are you going to make a new one for that?
I right now I'm going to make a new, or I've already made the YouTube channel. I'm just gonna upload my winter forecast to there.
Okay.
I've recently finalized my analog years for the winter.
Okay.
So I'm getting closer to releasing it.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, he's gonna make his winter forecast soon, guys. If you want to, how could we advertise that? Maybe
I hmm,
the your YouTube channel so that they can subscribe if they want to beforehand.
yeah, maybe. 1 second. Let me see if I can search it up and if it shows up in the search. If you search my name in the search bar, YouTube
Yeah,
search.
I could probably get it under this or something. Just have it like up. That's
Yeah.
probably possible. Yeah, we'll be able to do that. So read some more comments. Yes, this tropical threat looks pretty significant over the next while. I mean, even within the next 48 hours, we have an 80% chance. That's really good if you guys didn't know. Really good chance. It's not a good thing.
Yeah.
But
I
as
see. Go ahead. Sorry.
as of right now, it doesn't look like it will get too strong, but a lot of times this will begin to show differently as time goes on, but we'll have to watch it. But right now, they like to keep it a tropical storm for at least a long while here. What were you going to say?
It doesn't look at this. Wow, that one model going to Cat 4. But that's. I don't think that'll happen. I think it's probably at most going to be like a Category 2 hurricane because it has to deal with dry air, and right now it's dealing with wind shear, which is why it isn't strengthening. there are warm waters over the Gulf, but I think the dry air will limit it a little.
Yeah, as we, I'll try to find a dry air or something here where we can see that. Something I did want to note that I just saw. This is our invest we're talking about, Invest 91L. If you look just below it, 90 Invest 97E is like just south of it, just south of Mexico, and they have it taking the same track.
Yeah, that one south of Mexico, they're both associated with the same like monsoon type thing.
Mm-hmm.
So they're related. I think, and the National Hurricane Center agrees that the Atlantic one will probably win out over the Eastern Pacific one.
Yeah, as half the models here like to keep it under tropical storm status anyway. So
Yeah.
just thought I would note that. We have 119 viewers. That's pretty good. If you guys want to subscribe, I do live streams like this, also seasonal forecasts, monthly forecasts, and other sorts of forecasts. If you're into weather, I greatly appreciate that. Also, make sure to leave comments, any questions or statements you want me or Jacob to answer. We're going to be going through all of those and answering those for you guys. We're going to get Jacob's YouTube here hopefully soon, possibly, so that you guys can subscribe if you want to. We'll try at least.
Yeah.
You'd probably get a bit of subscribers if we could do that. So.
Yeah.
Because probably since you haven't done anything on it, you probably have like 0.
Yeah, so. I haven't done anything on this yet, but I'm hoping to get my winter forecast out before October 30th because I want to have some time to take a break between like looking at the winter before I do it again in November.
Yeah, once you get your first one out, you kind of have an idea, and then it's easier to make the second one, obviously, because it would probably just be some tweaks, hopefully.
Yeah, most likely at this point. I'm just going to tweak it a little, and yeah.
So that's good. Okay, so that answered the Gulf questions. Area of impact, though, we can't. It's not very certain, and these will flip-flop, but it's basically anywhere in the Gulf. Could get hit at this point.
I'd probably say probably Louisiana East is most likely the area to be hit because even though we have a ridge over the East Coast, I don't think it'll be strong enough to force it into Texas area.
Yeah. Yep. Where is it now? I lost it. Oh boy, I lost it. That's good. But yeah, that's what the models show too. The very furthest west one is right in the middle of Louisiana. So, but Florida Panhandle is what they're showing right now. These probably will change quite a bit. They like to flip-flop a lot, so you'll see that change. Well, Northeastern have Indiana have a lot of blizzards. Can't really say.
Yeah, this far out, like even a month before winter starts, you can't really tell at least exactly how much snow or how many snowstorms, especially that you're going to get. We can only give you like just predictions and like percentages of the chance that you'll get a higher than normal or lower than normal winter.
Yeah. So, like, comparatively to normal is really all we can do.
Yeah.
Somebody asked, "What are your thoughts on winter for this year, Jacob?"
I'm not gonna quite say. I'm not gonna quite say yet, but I'm trying to be less of a wish cast because I used to make a lot more winter forecasts back when I was much younger. And even though I got it the first 2 years, I did pretty well because they were 2009, 2010, and 2010, 2011, both really good years. I wish casted both those years. I didn't really look at anything.
Yeah, it's really like it's really fun once you can kind of like have no bias and you don't really care. Like if you're just trying to be accurate, that's when it becomes really fun.
Yeah.
Um, so as somebody asked what the El Nino looks like, let's see.
I haven't checked today.
Let's see.
Hmm.
Oh, that's not the one I wanted.
Tropical Tidbits has a good
Yeah, I wanted to see T depth maybe though.
yeah, that makes sense.
Um, but yeah, if we forgot if this is what I hate. Like they don't have like a they need to get an ENSO region one because if you do Eastern Pacific, it's like north of El Nino. So
Yeah. Well, right now the 3.4, which is basically between it's in the middle of the equatorial Pacific. It's about 8/10 a degree above normal at the moment. So it's rising.
yeah, and something that I would add on top of that is that 1 and 2 have been much lower. They're rising slowly, but it was over 1 degree above average for quite a while, and then it just dropped.
Yeah.
Um, that's crucial as well. Um, see, oh, so region 3 looks to be rising the most. Interesting. So yeah, let's see. How much
Uh,
snow Nebraska get? Probably average amounts.
Livermore, the two models I've seen for winter predictions are extremely cold in North Canada and the entire East Coast. Middle America wet to normal temp, and West Coast will be drier than normal. Um, I I personally don't really like to look at weather models. They can be like, I guess, a just a something you can look at, but they aren't all that great at forecasting winter specifically. They flip flop all the time, and they've been wrong more times than they've been right in the recent past.
Yeah, I agree. I think history and oscillations are going to get you a much more accurate look at what winter will be than the models ever could. Just knowing recent years, historic years. It is also going to warm up this spring. No kidding. Yeah. The models are currently showing Invest 91L going into the panhandle of Florida and then getting picked up by a system's cold front and then forming a monster storm. It's a little too early um, to get too much into all that,
I,
but
the chance of that type, like a really strong storm like that happening, are pretty small right now. There's a lot of things that would have to happen to make that storm become a big one.
yeah. Whoops. Whoops. Yeah. Yeah, I think with the current steering, it would be more likely to go inland a little bit more, but it's too early to tell for sure.
One thing I will say is this kind of storm, Wilmington, North Carolina has already had a record breaking amount of rainfall this year. And this looks like if it forms, it'll only add to that. I think Wilmington could get close to 100 inches of rain this year.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah. I think it would beat the previous record by over 20 inches.
Yeah, a lot of rain. Florence helped a lot. Florence is what made that happen, actually.
Yeah.
It's currently unusually warm here in North Carolina. Will it we be looking at a warm winter? That usually isn't how it would work. Usually, especially with this kind of warm, we know that the cold temperatures are in Canada, in the western United States, the northern Rocky Mountains. That's where the cold has been for probably about 3 weeks, maybe two. And that's just building a snowpack up there, and that's really gonna lead to really cold temperatures up there. And if we get the right pattern in the winter, that would only help us. So
Yeah, I as long as that cold air stays in Canada and builds up a snowpack, and that the snowpack doesn't melt off for some reason, uh, having warmth right now in the east it doesn't really pertain to winter all that much.
and even a lot of times there will be a cold fall and then in the east and then a warm winter. So it usually works actually opposite of what you would think. Typically, obviously, you can get a cold fall and a cold winter. I think 2014 had a cold fall. Correct me if I'm wrong, but and also was followed up by a cold winter. But typically, it's a good thing when the cold is up there in Canada. If it's warm everywhere, then it's not a good thing, obviously. But just been looking up the 10-day. It's showing a lot of 60s here in Eastern Tennessee for highs next weekend. For about the past week, I've been preaching that the second half of October looks to be when the pattern change happens. So we'll just have to see. 10 days out, though, you're not going to get a very accurate, specific temperature, but it looks to be below average temperatures, if anything.
Snickerdoodle asked about the rain in Kentucky the next week and if there's going to be a lot of it. Um, it's looking like you're going to be to the southeast of a heaviest axis of rain. Since between Texas and basically Wisconsin is going to be the battleground between the cool air in the west and the warm air in the east. That's the area that's most likely to get the most rain in the next week or so.
Mm-hmm. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you're a new viewer, if you've never seen my channel before, I do live streams like this a lot, and I also do seasonal monthly forecasts as well as other forecasts. Also, feel free to leave any comments, any questions that are weather related, or any statements, and we'll go through and answer all of those for you guys.
Also, I was able to find my YouTube channel, so if you want to subscribe early and be able to see my winter forecast right away, I'm putting it in the comments right now.
And I will pull it up and have it down here. What's it actually called? Because I just see the link.
Weather Nerd. It's
one word or
yeah, one word. I looked at on YouTube and it wasn't showing up in the first few links to channels, so I don't know if you'll be able to find it or not.
Do you know what the profile picture is, or do you not have one yet?
It's the profile picture is of low pressure with a cold and warm front and the air masses around it.
Okay. Why would it have why wouldn't yours be above the people that aren't even named Weather Nerd?
It probably because I haven't uploaded anything yet.
Yeah, it's like this certainly isn't who you're looking for. I'm gonna just go to my live stream and click the link because I think if I have it on the screen, that'll do really good.
Yeah.
Pause this. Okay. Sorry for the lull here, guys, as we're trying to do something real quick, but keep the comments coming in.
Thank you for everybody who's subscribing before I put anything up, because I know you haven't really seen how good I am at it, but yeah, thanks anyways.
Pause this so it stops making noise. Oh boy. I don't think it's good for my computer to have this many pages open, but
I know that feel.
you know what? You got to do what you got to do, man. If only you could
Okay.
pin a comment, I could just pin your link, but I don't think that's a
Yeah.
thing. So that's quite
Okay.
unfortunate. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Um,
So this is going to be his channel coming up right here. 9 subscribers, man. Whoa.
that was
Moving
quick.
up. So if you want to subscribe to him, go ahead and uh, try to search his channel up. It'll probably start popping up as it gets new subscribers, or try to find the link in the comments.
Which winter forecast can be believed for the Tennessee Valley area? There's a lot of different predictions. At this point, take most winter predictions with a grain of salt. I mean, you can use it to like have a guess at what the winter is, but just there's a lot of different, or there are a few different things that could happen. Like even among years that have similar conditions as this year, there will be different. It'll act differently than this year. So just take things with a grain of salt.
Yeah, that's always good advice with weather predictions, unless it's like now casting. Southeast predictions, same thing, but looking like it could be a slightly below average temperature winter with an El Nino setup. That would be pretty typical. I'm a believer that El Nino affects precipitation more than it does temperatures anyway, but
Yeah, I think that's. I don't know. That might be true. I'm not quite sure yet. Just came on. Wisconsin going to be real cold this winter? Uh, Maybe. Right now, if whenever cold air comes out of Canada, you'll have a few days that are really cold, but I'm not sure like uh, how cold the other days of the winter will be. That's just the way it is every winter.
I think it's cold there every winter.
Well, colder than average, let's say.
Yeah, if we're talking comparatively, then yeah.
Yeah. Is there going
Good.
to be a weak or moderate El Nino or an El Nino Modoki or maybe neutral? Right now, it's looking like somewhere between a weak and moderate. I've seen some models show somewhere around 1 degree above average, and I'm leaning towards a Modoki El Nino right now, though it could be either. We'd want the Eastern Pacific, like right next to South America, to cool off a little if it was going to be a Modoki El Nino.
Yeah, speaking about Modoki El Nino, the there's really two types of Modoki El Nino, and people don't really like specify. Now, what I consider and what most meteorologists consider like a true Modoki El Nino is, and this has definitely been like it's been used for different types of El Ninos, but really would be actually below average temperatures for this area, and then warmer temperatures in this left one would be like the true Modoki. But a lot of people consider slightly warmer than average temperatures in the whole region, and then most of the warm being in the western sector, being a Modoki as well. So it's really just debatable. I call the first one a true Modoki, and then the second one is just a Modoki. But a true Modoki would be actually blues in this area, which is hard to achieve. It doesn't happen very often, but when it does have really good effects on the eastern United States.
What is the difference between a weak El Nino and a Modoki El Nino? So a Modoki El Nino is when the warmest temperatures of an El Nino are like close to the date line, which is 180 degrees, further out into the Pacific, with cooler, relatively waters close to the South American coast. and a weak El Nino is when the temperature of the El Nino isn't above, I think, uh, 1 degree Celsius above normal. Uh, they can be there can be a strong Modoki El Nino, or there can be and a weak Modoki, as well as a strong non-Modoki El Nino and a weak non-Modoki El Nino. A lot of words.
An example of a winter that we thought would be a strong Madoki El Nino was 2015 to 2016 when the Jamstack really it looked like a Madoki.
2009, 2010 was a fairly strong Modoki El Nino.
Yeah, and we all know how that winter went.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what can we expect for the Northeast? Probably below average temperatures with above average snowfall. Do you think Memphis, Tennessee will see above average snow this year? I think that you'll probably see average, which isn't that much, but
That's probably because in El Ninos, there's usually it's usually wetter close to the coast. The Gulf and East Coast are usually wetter than normal, and then the Ohio Valley down to Arkansas is usually drier than normal. So
yeah.
that's just the usual El Nino, though. So
Hoping for snow and cold this winter in southern Ontario. You'll probably get both of those things. What can we expect for Cincinnati, Ohio this winter? Basically, what Jacob just said. Though you guys, it really just depends. I think that you could have slightly above average snowfall, but it probably will just be average, and you'll probably have below average temperatures as well. What is Houston, Texas going to be like? You'll probably get quite a bit of rain this winter.
yeah. Didn't Houston last winter get some snowfall in December?
They did.
I think I
That was
remember that.
awesome.
Yeah. I always
People
love it.
people always ask me if that's going to happen again.
Yeah. That
Probably not for a while.
that type of thing, having snow near the Gulf Coast is like once every 3 to 10 years type thing. So
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Southern Appalachia near Asheville, I'm in that area right now, and I'm thinking it's going to be cooler than normal, and I'm not sure if it's going to be wetter or drier or near the normal precipitation, but that's what you can expect right now.
Upstate South Carolina, average snowfall. Um, I mean, it could be above average. I think that there could be a southern slider or two this winter, certainly possible, which would possibly bring a snowstorm to that area, which would automatically probably put you above your average if I'm correct on what your average is. But yeah, a lot of the averages in the South is like, oh, so you average 3 inches. It's usually you get 0 inches one year and then 6 inches the next year. That's usually how that works, or something like that. But that's certainly how my average works usually.
Yeah, that's basically anywhere south of Atlanta or even Raleigh, North Carolina. Uh, it's just difficult to get snow every year.
Yeah, it's usually every other or something. Um, what about Southern Illinois? Probably drier conditions with below average temperatures. Predictions for Eastern North Carolina this winter. We are still recovering from the hurricane. Yeah. So it depends, northeastern or southeastern. That actually makes a big difference. But northeastern, I think in a winter like this, it's possible that you could get above average snowfall for sure. I think below average temperatures for both, though.
Yeah. If there's any snowstorm between from Virginia south that's more than 6 or 9 inches, you're going to be above average. That's why it's really difficult to predict the amount of snowfall it'll be in like southern areas.
Yeah, because there's probably going to be a few storms with the potential to do that, but it really could not happen or it could happen. It really just depends. Like a lot of times we'll see this potential nor'easter and it just goes out to sea. So
Ian, could you tell who it is, cuz or who's inflecting down, cuz I want to fix that and make sure you guys can hear me if I'm doing that.
Gulf hurricane this week. We had snow twice in Pensacola last year. Week of barely 40 high for daytime. This storm may just be for days off work, drinking beer and watching Oprah. Huh. It's possible. I think it'll stay a tropical storm though. I live outside Petersburg, Virginia. Do I need to buy a snow shovel this winter? How much snow this winter? It really depends. I think Petersburg, you will see snow at some point, but yeah, don't wait too long to get a snow shovel because they will be sold out most likely. If you wait until like the day before a snowstorm, it'll be too late. What about Charlotte, North Carolina? Again, just like upstate South Carolina. Charlotte, North Carolina. Yeah. Yeah. If you guys are new to the live stream or new to this channel, feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. I make weather live streams, seasonal forecasts, monthly forecasts, things like that. So if you're interested in that, feel free to subscribe. Also, the guy, Jacob Thome, who's in my live stream as well, you can go ahead and find his YouTube channel on the bottom right corner. You can search that up and see if you can find it. Also, feel free to leave any comments, any questions in the live stream as we're going through and answering all of them.
Also, my videos will be like, I'm going to be doing a winter forecast the next 2 months, but then after that, I'm going to try and explain weather phenomena like the El Nino and La Nina and the PDO and different things like that, so people can learn how to diagnose it all.
Yeah. Is this winter in New Jersey going to be cold? I think it will be below average temperatures for sure. What are your predictions for snowfall in Connecticut? I think that New England might have a big year this year. Had 4 inches snowfall in 2017. Had about an inch 2018 upstate South Carolina. Last winter was awful. Last winter was weird. It really just depends where you were at.
Yeah, last winter it was like overall it was about normal temperatures for most people in the east, at least. Like December was around normal. The beginning of January was very cold, and then February was way above normal. So just kind of weird.
Yeah. Stephen White, you're basically spamming the chat right now with a bunch of stuff that I don't think are even questions. So if you wouldn't mind slowing down a little bit there or trying to leave it in one message at a time, put more words into one message, I'd appreciate that. Will temperatures in Connecticut be above or below normal this coming winter? Probably below normal. I am slightly concerned about this pool of warm air, but it seems to be cooling down. If you look at the last couple of days, the 7-day, so I wait for this to go away. If you look at the last 7-day change, you'll see that there's been cooling in this region. So that's good news. a little bit of warming here up against the coast. So it'll be a work in progress, but it's because the air temperature is warmer mostly.
Also, uh, one thing I just want to talk about is the PDO, which is like the ring of warm temperatures in the Pacific. Uh, it's really weird this year. The
Yeah,
the NOAA says that it's like a negative number, even though the way it looks is a positive PDO.
the
So I
horseshoe.
that yeah, that really it's throwing off winter forecasts. I had to go into each year and specifically look at the temperature of the oceans uh, to find my analogs.
Yeah, because we would really typically, and it's really hard to find an El Nino with a negative PDO as it is, but we normally it looks like most of the colder waters are here. That's just my 2 cents. And then it looks like most of the warmer temperatures surround that, which is what we look for in a positive PDO. Here's the change. That's the change. So I think we're moving closer to a positive PDO, to be honest, as we look at the change. Looking at the actual sea surface anomaly, it definitely does look positive, but I've heard people say, actually in AWE, I know you're in there.
Yeah,
Um, I've heard people talk about this and say that this is a sign of a negative PDO, the warmer temperatures right here. So, but what's really throwing me off is that cold pool right here because it looks like everything surrounds that. So it really just depends.
yeah, it's difficult.
Yeah, I know in my first winter forecast, I described it as confused. It's a confused PDO right now.
Yeah, and it's making winter forecasting quite difficult. So,
Yeah. So I wish it was more definitive than it is.
also,
Uh, let's see. Oh, what were you gonna say?
sunspots is just. I know it's not a great topic to bring up, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's pretty interesting how it affects. I recently read a paper on it, and apparently, uh, when sunspots are lower, there's less ultraviolet radiation, and so that makes the stratosphere, like around the equator, a little cooler. So the polar vortex is a little weaker and lets cool air out a little more often, which means we have a negative AO and NAO more often.
Yeah, which are two very good things for Eastern United States.
Yeah.
AO is good for both. Now, also something I noticed about sunspots going through analogs was I it was really hard to find El Nino years in a low sunspot point. Besides 2009 to 2010, a lot of the years surrounding them were La Ninas.
Yeah, that's pretty weird with recent stuff. Though I did find 2004, 2005 was a good year for that.
Mm, yeah.
Um, as well as 1994, 1995.
Is this winter going to be wet or dry for California? Some sources are saying wet and some are saying dry. So I think I think it'll be average everywhere in California. If anything, Northern California would have below average precipitation if any of the areas in California do. It's even possible that Southern California could get slightly above average precipitation. So,
Yeah, the West Coast is really like hard to predict for precipitation, specifically this winter, because Modokai El Ninos usually have it drier than normal in the Southwest, while normal El Ninos usually have it wet all over the West Coast. So it's,
so it'll be one or the other.
yeah.
I know that the Northwest usually has below average precipitation in El Ninos just because La Ninas give them a lot more precipitation. So.
Yeah.
First time visiting this channel. Looks awesome. Thank you, Ryan McLean. Uh, can we get tornadoes in the winter season or no? What are you asking for?
Tornadoes can happen in like areas from like Texas to Florida.
I mean,
I
technically they can happen anywhere, but
Yeah,
it's just really unlikely outside of those very southern regions.
the deep south is the most likely area to get tornadoes in winter.
Carter Norton, what is the difference between a negative PDO and a positive PDO as it affects the USA? Good question. So a positive PDO, like I've stated before, is warmer temperatures. Outs inside this red ring basically is where we look for those, and typically you'll see a ridge over this area and then troughing in the east. That's just usually what you look for. Opposite in a negative PDO. It's obviously not the only factor, so a lot of things go into it, like AO, NAO, PNA, which I think correlates with the PDO a lot. But yeah, negative PDO, it encourages troughing, which would encourage ridging in the eastern United States. So that's the difference of effects you could experience. Honestly, I think parts of upper South, such as western 2/3 of North Carolina, northwestern South Carolina, and northern Georgia, could be in for a few good mixed events. It's possible. Possible for sure.
Lancaster, PA, the last 2 out of 3 years, we had February tornadoes after extremely high temperatures. Yeah, the past few winters, February has been very warm, so it has allowed tornadoes to get further north than they normally do. But usually with El Ninos, the coldest month is February. I don't know if that'll be the way it is this time, but that's how it is usually.
Um, Climate change has changed that. Hmm.
Has changed what?
I don't know. They just said has changed that, and it was like, how long ago was that? It was 2 minutes ago, so I don't even know.
Yeah. I mean, climate change, like the temperature right now, since it is the global temperature is slightly warmer than it was if in the 1950s and 1960s. I'm having to add like a few tenths of a degree to those types of winters just to make sure my analogs aren't like overstating the cold air. So I am taking that type of thing into account.
The 12Z GFS is coming out, so we will be able to see what it thinks for the tropical storm again. Not that the GFS is going to be too accurate. Um, so somebody asked, how strong will the disturbance be? It looks to stay under her Cat 1 status, but could get stronger
It,
theoretically.
it really matters how quickly the shear goes away and if it can not mix in dry air. Those are the two biggest things at this moment. So if it forms quickly and the dry air isn't a problem, it could maybe get up to Cat 2. But yeah, that's about the strongest I see it getting.
Uh, I live in Tennessee Valley near Chattanooga. Do you think we will have a good winter season for snow? Haven't had a good one since 2014, 2015. Funny you mentioned that year. That's actually one of my analogs. Uh, I think Chattanooga, that's right by the Georgia border, I believe. So, yeah, you could potentially, you're one of those areas where one snowstorm could change it all for sure. One or two little southern sliders, which are possible this year or so. We'll have to see. Thanks. Mostly depends on ocean temps. The ocean's sucking the heat out of the air so far. That air streams follow. the ocean streams under them. You think we will get snow in South Carolina? I think it's possible, for sure. Hi there. What are your take on area southwestern Ohio on this winter? Southwestern Ohio, you could be experiencing drier conditions with below average temperatures. What is winter looking like for Northeast Ohio? Please. Thank you. So the lakes are pretty warm this year, so that could make or break this winter for you, depending on how northeastern you are. But yeah, we'll just have to keep an eye on that, see if the lakes stay warm and we can get frigid air moving over them.
Yeah,
Still in December.
it really matters like how cold the air like when it first comes is. If it's really cold air and the lakes are still warm, you'll get pretty good lake effect type stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, you want it to happen as early as possible. Anytime after November, halfway through November, that'd be best. Probably the second half of November for that to happen. But December could also be a big month for that if November's pretty warm. What is the difference between freezing rain and sleet? Are they the same thing? No, they're not the same thing. Freezing rain is rain that falls and hits the surface and then freezes. Sleet is rain that falls, then freezes, then hits the surface, if that makes sense. When ocean streams change with ice melting, then the airflow above them likewise changes to follow along. Not as so much. It's not a question. What is the cause of thunderstorms during a snowstorm? Same thing as a thunderstorm during a rainstorm, except it's way harder to achieve.
Yeah, since the ice crystals, I think they have like a positive charge when they rub up against each other. There needs to be a very strong negative charge on the ground or a very strong positive charge in the storm. And that usually only happens when it's very heavy snow. So, yeah.
Send rain to Central California. Tired of this dry dirt. I bet. Will we get a wet winter or a dry one like last year in California? I think around average is your best bet as of right now. Which it's hard to even know what your average is anymore. Probably. How much snowstorms will North Carolina get? It can't say. What are your thoughts for southern New England? I think above average snowfall and below average temperatures is your most likely bet. Do warmer waters form bigger nor'easters? Not bigger, but they would help encourage it to strengthen a lot.
I mean,
A lot more.
yeah, warmer waters, they can be like both a good thing and a bad thing for northeasters. They can make it stronger, but they can also make areas near the coast warmer, which will switch them to rain. And if you don't like rain, then you might not want it to be too much stronger.
Yep. Rains have just started up for the winter. Maybe an early wet and then dry, but could be another 300% year for California. Watch for flash flooding from fire damage. I don't think it's very likely that we see well above average precipitation like that this year, just with how the El Nino is. And really, most of the wetness you're getting right now has to do with the tropical system that moved into the Four Corner states. So we'll have to watch and see if the pattern persists, but I think that has a lot to do with it. So if we have a warm November, we are in for a lot of snow. Like, what kind of temps does it need to be then? Well, as warm as possible.
Well,
or just extremely cold in November for like lake effect only though.
you for Northeast Ohio, if you want lake effect, you want the first cold air to come over it to be very cold and allow it to keep going, keep the lake effect snow trains going for a while.
Therefore, if a few more average systems as we get into later November, that'll just make the lakes warmer or colder and colder, because you want the lakes to stay warm until that very frigid air moves over it, like Jacob said.
Yeah, and also that lake, I think it's Erie. Yeah, Erie can freeze over, unlike Ontario. So it's it can if it gets too cold or if it gets cold too slowly and doesn't lead to a lot of snow, then that can happen.
Which would be disappointing for you guys unless you don't want snow. Let's see. I've been hearing your questions for a while. If I'm correct, will Northwest Ohio be colder than normal this year and around average to maybe below average snow because of clippers? Yeah, that's basically what we're getting at. Freezing rain happens when temperatures in clouds are higher than on the ground, so it freezes to ice when it hits the ground. Yeah, that's sleet too, though. So
You expect an El Nino or an El Nino Madoki. That's right now. It's kind of a hard question, but we're slightly leaning towards Madoki since that's the way the atmosphere is trying to make it be right now. So
yeah, yeah. Anything in between also looks possible. Something that you know. Last one we had here was January 2009. Snickerdoodle. I forgot where you're from. So that sucks. If you guys are new to this stream, feel free to subscribe to my channel and then the channel on the bottom right as well. That's the Jacob's channel. He's also in the stream here with me. Also, make sure to leave any questions that you might have as we're going through and answering all of those.
hmm.
106. Pretty good stream for the morning hours. Let's see. Whoops, accidentally went way up there. South Central Kentucky. Yeah, that's a tough area because you're right in between, but I think average precipitation with below average temperatures is the best bet.
Does anyone want to learn like how to use like different websites like Tropical Tidbits or something like that? Because I think that was something that some people asked in the last stream.
That is, yeah. Do you think
So
91L will be a hurricane? No, probably not, but it's possible. Yeah, let's see if people want that. So is Ohio in for an El Nino or what? Well, it wouldn't just be Ohio; it'd be everywhere. But yes. How will Alabama look for this winter? Probably above average precipitation with below average temperatures, slightly below average temperatures, to below average temperatures. What could be the possible impacts from 91L? Tropical storm conditions. Yeah. More flooding for it looks like right now, without going too far into the future, it looks like anywhere from Louisiana to Florida could be experiencing the conditions of this storm. Precipitation they're calling for out of this. So yes, local flooding, yeah. Localized flooding. Southwest Missouri. I think you'll have average conditions is the best bet. I'm here at Fort Hood, Texas. What's it look like? I just got on. Are you asking for the pattern change or for winter? That's always the question, though. Do you think that this November is going to be colder than normal month for central east and eastern United States? Honestly, I don't know yet. Usually that's the type of thing you know right or you don't even know, but it's the kind of thing that you get hints of kind of closer to the month happening.
Yeah, at this point, it could be, it could still be warm in the east, or it could be just a frozen wasteland. You never really know at this point.
Yeah. When you look at the models, it's and I don't like season models at all or climate models, but especially not the CFS. But they they tend to like average out a lot as time goes on, which just shows the uncertainty. Ensemble models sometimes have this problem as well, where it you can tell that half the members think one thing and half the members think another thing, and it kind of tries to average them out. But yeah, November's too far out, I think, to say for sure. Okay, winter for Fort Hood, Texas. I think maybe slightly above average precipitation, but we'll call it average, and then right around average temperatures too. I think that's the best bet. Yeah, Jacob, you're getting quite a bit of subscribers here.
Yeah, saw that. Thank you guys.
First time on this channel, love it. Thank you, Suzanne. In spaghetti models, what do the four letters mean above the lines? Let me see what you're talking about here.
I think that's the like specific model that is predicting that.
Above the lines?
Like the tabs, TABS, I think that's the model that's predicting that specific line.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. If that's what you meant by that question. I think that is, though. Yeah. Four letters. What else could it be? Yeah, because they had like the full names. It would just take up the whole screen and you wouldn't be able to see what it's saying. I think that's why they're four letters, probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're new to the stream, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I do live streams like this, seasonal forecasts, monthly forecasts, and other sorts of forecasts. Also, make sure to subscribe to Jacob's channel. He's here in the stream with me. On the bottom right corner, you can see his name. Also, up in the comments, he left a link, but it's probably long gone at this point, or will be very hard to find. Also, make sure to leave questions in the stream. We're going to go through and answer all of those. Any weather-related questions, any weather-related statements.
If you want to learn something that we might be able to know, then please ask like how to do something for yourself if you want to.
Yeah.
And I re-put my YouTube channel in the comments.
Good. Yeah, so click that link and it'll take you to his channel. It doesn't have any videos yet, but he plans on doing a winter forecast. So
I will be making a winter forecast, and I'm likely to explain like what the El Nino means and different things like that. So if you're looking forward to that, subscribe.
Do you think that us subscribers to your channel could expect more videos than just those?
I'm not sure. I'm in university right now, so I don't know like after this semester how bad my workload is going to be. But for the next few months, if I get my winter forecasts out early, then I might do extra videos between now and later.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, the community, man, it's really weird. I remember when we were both like, 13, 14, whatever. There used to be like, tens and of YouTubers, probably like 20 YouTubers that did weather things that were, young. Now it's just a handful at this point.
You just gotta go looking for them, I guess. I've seen a few of them, but yeah, not as many.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, you guys are saying winter is based off of water temps. This far out, that's all we have. Basically,
That's
water temps and wind patterns.
that's like the biggest thing at this point. Like there's the different teleconnections, like the El Nino, which is Central Pacific water temperatures, the PDO, which is North Pacific water temperatures, uh, and the AMO, which is North Atlantic water temperatures. We have different things like this, how the sun is doing, what the sun is doing, and like the wind in the stratosphere, which way it's going. But
Yeah.
it's mostly water temperatures.
Yeah. Those are the most proven teleconnections. Though I'm starting to like sunspot activity as a teleconnection because, or I wouldn't even call it a teleconnection, but it's something that you can use um, to make your forecast. It seems pretty definitive when I look at analogs.
Yeah.
What are you thinking about the winter for central and northern Indiana and Chicago area? I'm a truck driver who runs this area 5 days a week. Very frigid. Might even end up with below average snowfall just because of how cold and dry it'll be. So
Yeah. Usually, if you're in the middle of a cold air mass, there aren't going to be a lot of storms going through, so you might have a slightly less snowfall than normal.
yeah, and if anything, they'd be relatively small snowstorms most likely.
But they'd stick around for longer.
Yeah. Uh-oh, Wake Human's back. Were you here when he was in the stream yesterday?
I can't remember. Uh, and
Yeah.
and what is causing the water temp? The sun. Yeah, exactly. It is, but it's not the only thing that changes. Like the the different gases in the atmosphere retain more of the heat. Certain gases in the atmosphere, like water vapor and carbon dioxide, retain some of the heat from the sun. All the energy that comes in goes out, but some of it stays here longer if it gets trapped by certain gases.
Yeah, he was he's one of the people that thinks that there's gonna be an ice age.
I
Humid.
I probably disagree, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. We had a thing yesterday for probably like 30 minutes. It was when you weren't really commenting, so I'm sure you weren't here.
Yeah, no problem,
Uh,
Robert.
yep. That's what we're here for.
Right now, I'm just like trying to go through my analogs and see what's different in each of them so I can make the best winter forecast I can.
Yeah, any questions you guys have, leave in the comments. We'll hit you up with new ones. You'd be surprised how many the number stays relatively the same, but when I look back at the analytics, it'll be like over 1,000 people that came and left the stream.
Yep.
So even though it stays right around 87 to 120, a lot of people come and leave.
Okay. Someone asked for us to explain the Ice Age thing. So, what some people think is happening is since the sun is going, some people think that the sun is going into a dormant period, and that is sort of backed up by the previous few solar cycles being smaller than normal, like the maximums being lower than normal. Um, and if that happens, some people say that we could have a small ice age, like during like the 1700s, there was a mini ice age. Um, I disagree with that. I think climate change forcing is going to overpower that type of thing, even if it does happen. So we'll see, but uh, it can. It's debatable.
Yeah, and really, I'm a believer that the grand solar minimum is going to happen personally, which is the thing where the maximums get a lot smaller to even non-existent. but I think that it's not. It's going to be less of an ice age, and I think it's going to be more like a lot of 2009 to 2010s or 2014 to 2015s or the late 70s. That those type of winters are going to become a lot more common. Uh, just colder than average winters, but I don't think that it would be considered an ice age. I just I just don't think it'll be that extreme at all. Um, but yeah. Javen Chase, welcome to the stream, man. I was wondering where you were at.
Hoping you're having a good day.
The sun has been active lately. G1 alerts. I've noticed that I don't get as many walnuts dropping in warmer winters, although you are saying cold and wet for Indiana. Uh, I think cold and dry would be a better bet. Um, okay, awake human said that I misquoted him. So, if you want to go ahead and clarify what you think is going to happen, awake human, you can go ahead and do that. I guess we all have the right to do that. So, can't you just change the weather and make it wet and cold in the Pacific Northwest? No,
We wish.
cannot.
We wish.
Yeah,
Maybe eventually we can rule the world with our weather changing abilities, but
that's
not
not even
quite
what I would
yet.
do anyway. I wouldn't give it. I wouldn't give the precipitation to the Northwest. I'd give it all to me.
Yeah, give yourself an 8-foot snowstorm
Yeah,
in the middle of September.
yeah. No, you're around, man. Good job, guys. Thank you for being here and doing what you are doing. I appreciate it. You're welcome.
Yeah. I don't have much else to do today, so this is fun to do.
So, await human, you keep telling all that I said Ice Age. I specifically said Mini Ice Age. I apologize. Ice Age is just easier to say.
I'm
But
I thought I said mini ice age. I'm sorry if I misquoted you. Though I don't know if talking about global warming is the best thing to do right now. Uh,
yeah.
it's a little political, in my opinion.
Yeah, I usually just stay out of it. Southeast Texas is going to be cold and wet this season. Houston area, yeah, probably.
Um, why are all these El Nino taking place? Winter is supposed. Are you asking why El Ninos cause cold and snowy winters? Affordable lawn care.
Um, yeah, awake human. I guess if I called it an ice age instead of a mini ice age, then I misquoted you. But nevertheless, you are calling for a mini ice age, which I am not.
Okay. So what happens in El Ninos is this circulation in the Pacific weakens or even reverses, causing warm water to pile up in the Eastern Pacific or Central Pacific near the equator. And that causes more storms to happen in that area and less storms to happen near Indonesia type area. And that connects to like both hemispheres of the Earth to uh, make it more likely that specific things like a positive PNA, which is basically a high pressure over the west coast, to happen. Uh, and that would help allow a low pressure in the east coast to happen. Uh, that's how much I understand it thus far. I'm probably oversimplifying it. So uh, I might be able to tell more later on once I get a little bit more of an education since I'm in university for meteorology right now.
Um, okay, so they want to hear about geoengineering and stuff. Uh, I'm not a believer in that at all. So. There's my answer.
Geezer, man, I don't think that's quite the best thing to talk about in here. That's a little political. Like, I personally disagree that that's happening. So, uh, yeah, let's. I don't think that's a good thing to talk about. Don't want to.
Yeah, yeah. Just saw the stream. Any changes you see in the forecast for Charlotte area in North Carolina? Nope. I still feel the same way. What about East Coast, specifically Virginia? Probably anywhere from average to above average snowfall with slightly below average temperatures, most likely. Yeah, but awake human. We're just gonna choose not to talk about geoengineering just because it's even if it's not political. If you don't think it's political, it is very uh, it could lead to a heated argument, or it has the
It's
potential to.
it's a
So we're just gonna not do that probably.
it's a divisive argument to have right now, and we don't. I don't really want to do that during a stream. I may address it like if I make any videos about that type of thing. So
Yeah. Yep. If you're new to the stream, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I make live streams like this, seasonal forecasts, monthly forecasts, and other sorts of forecasts. Also, make sure to subscribe to Jacob's channel. It's on the bottom right-hand corner, or he will probably leave another link in the comment section so that you can go ahead and do that. He's going to be making a winter forecast, and he's in university for meteorology as well, so he's pretty qualified. So if you're interested in his channel, feel free to subscribe. Also, make sure to ask any questions you might have in the comment section below as we're going through and answering all of those.
affordable lawn care. Your question is, do you think the weather pattern we're having right now is going to change, or are you pretty certain it's going to stay? It's probably going to change pretty soon. This type of ridging in the east is pretty unusual this late into fall. So I think eventually there will be some strong enough cold front to push out, but it could happen anywhere between like the 10th and about the 25th. It could stay warm somewhere between that range of times.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, we can look at I was looking at the GEFS just for that purpose. That's actually what I wanted to do in this stream, but we never got to it so far. So yeah. So I've been saying the 15th is the estimated date for me to for that to happen, obviously. So you see, we still through about the 10th have that troughing right here where the coldest temperatures are in Montana and the Dakotas. That's basically been that way for at least a week now. And the ridging staying in the east. Now, right around then, we see that trough start to move, and the models have been showing this for about a week now, and then eventually make its way to the eastern United States around the 15th, 16th, or 17th. And then from there, it's up in the air, and you see that the ensemble, this is usually a sign that the ensemble models are confused when it shows something like this, that they show a lot of different things, and it's showing us the average of all of those. So, but the normal GFS model shows a ridge in the east. Actually, whoa. Okay, so that's just through a couple days. I was like, oh shoot.
Yeah, it after like 10 days it kind of gets a little bit muddled, but if there's still something in there, or if there's still something if you can still see a pattern, then it might be seeing something.
Yeah. The typical GFS model, or just the GFS model in general, wants to keep the trough in the east at least till the 19th, and then kind of get a little bit of a ridge, and then like southeast trough. This is really far out and not a very typical pattern, so we'll just
Yeah.
have to see. So I would take this with like a huge grain of salt. But
Do
yeah,
you think fall foliage will be late? Yes, this year it's definitely going to be late. Especially, I think a lot of the East Coast has seen the warmest low temperatures in recorded history these past few months. Uh, so it'll probably be 10 to 15 days late at this point.
that's a safe bet. So depending on the area in the eastern United States, it'll be anywhere from uh, average to later than average. I would say it really just depends where you're at, but probably later than average, just because it's been warmer over the entire area.
Yeah, in the West it might be around normal time frame. Oh, I'm not quite sure.
Yeah. I guess we will have to wait until January to see colder temperatures in Southwest Florida. Do you think? Oh, we already answered that. If you guys have any questions to ask, make sure to leave it in the comments. But yeah, the what do you think of the FV3 GFS so far? How do you think it's been running?
um, I think it's about as good as the regular GFS, maybe slightly better. I'm not sure though.
Yeah, I remember it handled one. I think what was the tropical storm that hit Hawaii or almost did Lane. I
Yeah,
think it handled that one really well, and people were giving it a lot of praise then.
yeah. The FV3 cools it off quite quickly in the east,
Yeah, so
and then
we'll
it
have to see.
just.
Yeah, by the
I've seen reports
14,
for
15.
I've seen reports for February that there is supposed to be a big trough setting up in the east and a ridge in the west. What are your thoughts? Um, at this point, we it's I've seen that model as well, and I don't usually like to go by models, but I think that it might be right. It depends on like how specific things happen in the next few months. So take it with a massive grain of salt.
Yeah, yeah, we don't know if there will be a trough in early November or a ridge, so it's really what model was that?
I think it was the Euro
Oh yeah, yeah,
long-term
season.
model.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that would be like an average. So there's probably a little bit of ridging in between, obviously, but average over the whole month. Uh, I heard some high 30s for lows for North Carolina. Wow, really below average for the 17th. Yeah, this model seems pretty confident that it'll be pretty far below average for that high temperature that day. I will be in New England then. So,
Suzanne Wild, do you think that stronger geomagnetic storms affect the human body? Had really bad pains on August 26th when we had a G3 storm. Pains went away when the storm subsided. I don't know. I don't think there's been much. There's probably been some scientific looking at it, but I haven't really read much of it, so I'm not quite sure.
interesting question.
Yeah,
Yo,
that
new sub. Can't say your name. Thank you for subscribing. Hopefully
Cotton,
you subscribe
a
to
legend.
Jacob too. Yeah. See, 23 subscribers. It's pretty good for no videos.
Yeah. I just duped y'all. I'm never gonna release a video now.
You're gonna
Just
have like like 25 subscribers for no reason.
yeah.
Um,
I agree, Javin. I hope it gets cold too, but I'm I'm unsure. I've always been in the camp that says uh, when it happens, I'll be excited for it.
Yeah. This is probably not what would happen with these below average temperatures. This is probably just a glitch. This is a test model right now. I think the official upgrade of the GFS happens what, January? They said
Yeah,
so.
I think so. Yeah, this specific model that's on the screen is going to be the new GFS in January.
So that means they will tweak it then, right?
I think,
From the
yeah,
state.
I think they're going to tweak it slightly before it goes up as the regular GFS, but I'm not
Yeah.
quite sure.
Otherwise, this would already be the new GFS.
Yeah. What is your
So
forecast for Thanksgiving on the East Coast, more specifically the Maryland area? We can't really take much of a guess right now. Uh, it's it's a little too far off. We might be able to have some sort of an idea by the 1st of November, but even then, it's unlikely we'll know.
Blake Trotter was 2013 to 2014 a weak El Nino. No, that was actually a neutral ENSO year. Do you think that the Northeast would see some snow once this cold front comes? Uh, I'm doubtful. That's very doubtful.
Maybe the high
Um,
peaks, but anywhere other than that,
yeah,
it's a little
yeah,
early for that.
yeah. Maybe the Tug Hill or the maybe Mount Washington.
Yeah.
Uh, that'd be interesting. I'll be up in New Hampshire, so
Ooh.
ooh, yeah. If I could move anywhere, it'd probably be there for snowfall. Very cool place.
Yeah. I'm probably gonna move to the north once I'm out of university.
Yeah, it's very interesting up there in New England. I like it.
Yeah.
What's the snow chance for Montgomery, Alabama this year? Uh, I think. Hmm.
Higher chance of snow than a normal winter. I don't know if you'll get snow because that doesn't happen every winter in that area, but a higher chance than normal.
Yeah, yeah, above average chance. Those southeast is really just a very hard area to forecast snow for this far out, especially obviously. But we'll have a greater idea as we get into December, and we'll be able to see then. If you have any other questions, guys, you can go ahead and leave them in the comments below, and we will get to those and make sure to answer all the questions. Uh, Hello, can you briefly explain some of these tech models and what they mean? I'm definitely interested in learning about these. Yeah, so basically, most global models have temperature forecast as one of their features, obviously. So this is comparative to normal. So the blue areas are below average, and the red orange areas are above average. If you wanted more of a descriptive uh, explanation of them, you could let me know. But
Yeah.
I think that was the question.
Maybe like, do you want to know like what the specific models are or anything else? Uh, like, or how to use them or something like that? We could help with that.
Yeah.
Um, Caught in a legend. Uh, any hurricanes in the Atlantic? Not right now, but there's a chance of one in the next week or so in the Gulf of Mexico. So be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, I think the Atlantic. I think the Gulf has the best threat from this point on for this season. Looks to be.
Yeah, usually in October and November, most storms form the near land, so it's unlikely we'll have a storm hit the East Coast.
It would have to probably be one of the ones that goes through Florida and then up the coast. That would be
Yeah,
our only threat at this point, most likely. Um, just got in a few minutes. What about the Philly area? Uh, yeah, I think below average temperatures with above average snowfall this year for you guys, as of right now. That
Um,
goes. What were you gonna say?
Fox Kemp says, like the types of models there are to choose from. I know y'all said there are some more trustworthy than others and all that. So there are many different types of models. There are the global models, which are just like general models. They try and forecast everything, though they might not be as good at specific things than specific models. Um, then there are ensemble models, which try and predict the percentage chance of something happening. And they are usually, again, more generalized than global models. There are hurricane models that are specifically for hurricanes, and they specifically forecast hurricanes. There are mesoscale models like the NAM, which is only supposed to do well with like thunderstorms and different features like that. Um, they're like supposed to be short-term models. Um, there are also climate models which try and forecast like general temperatures and things out months. Um, Usually, people think the euro is the best model, but we can see um, there are like things that say how well each model has done in the past week. Do you have anything to add to that?
Not really. Yeah, not really. Usually, a meteorologist has their favorite global model, ensemble model, mesoscale model, seasonal model like that. Um,
But
like for instance, for snowstorms, I like the European, and then I like the RGEM as my kind of shorter range model.
yeah, the RGEM is really good with like where to put rain snow lines. So that's a good model right there.
Yeah. Oh man, just thinking about that, I can't wait for to be forecasting snowstorms. Like I was just thinking about like
I'm,
watching the RGEM model runs come in. Oh, so exciting.
I'm thinking I'm thinking about how much time I'm gonna waste on that this
Like
winter.
hours,
Yeah.
hours and hours. Yeah, and I'm hoping to do streams on that if you want to join me ever, uh, as
Yeah,
the runs come out.
I can think about that.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I love doing that. Uh, let's see. Ooh, a lot have come in. Chances of Mordecai El Nino. I'm gonna say probably 60 to 70% chance. With the other percentages being typical El Nino or neutral Enso. Neutral Enso is pretty slim though.
Yeah.
I hate the cold. I like the warmth. I love the cold. That's why God made 4 seasons, but I still like warm.
Yeah, everybody has their personal opinion on that. I personally I don't like the heat because I was raised in North Carolina, so it's like 90 degrees every day in the summer for like 3 or 4 months, and I just disliked that.
Yeah. Um, Dirty Cop Registry. How stoned are you right now? Uh, Not very. Mr. B. I do like one good major snowstorm. True, true, true. Fox Kemp, cool, thanks. Um, yeah, I kind of have that like hippie voice. It's like one of my things. So a lot of people think that I'm stoned when they hear me, but yeah, I have a man bun too. If you guys didn't know, so
Trying to grow my
yeah, that
yeah.
doesn't work in favor for me really.
I'm trying to grow my hair out so I can do that as well. I'm almost there.
Yeah. Fox Kemp. Oh, I've lived in Miami since age 2, and I'm beyond fed up with the heat. I could only imagine. I think honestly, it's like in my soul, I love snow. So I would just in Florida, I would not be liking life.
Yeah,
Uh,
I that's the biggest reason I don't want to like work at the National Hurricane Center because they're headquartered in Miami and they don't get snow down there.
Yeah. Master Chief, start focusing on Greenland. If we start seeing the high pressure build again over the or near Greenland, it can ensure a longer period of cold because it can force the trough to move through slower. Yeah, Greenland blocking.
Yeah, the negative NAO is a big part of a like short term uh, winter forecasting within
Yeah.
2 or so weeks.
Yeah, those are the AO, PNA, and NAO are the three big shorter term oscillations that we use to see like if it's going to be cold or warm this week, for instance. And then like the PDO and so and things like that are more of your long term oscillations. What does snow look like for Northeast Oklahoma this year? Uh, Probably average. Yeah, probably average. I can mentally see the man bun. It should get time thing of the year. Mentally see the man bun. That's a first. I hope my New York gets. So I'm a tropical person. What? Tropical person or tropical storm? Yeah, I'm a tropical storm. Uh,
Tropical storms are pretty interesting.
yeah,
So I'm kind of glad this year it hasn't been as bad as last year. That was just
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. Uh, yeah. I find when I was making my El Nino forecast, because there was a time like maybe 2 months ago. I think you're aware of this, Jacob, but I was calling for an El Nino, and like half of people were like, "No, there won't be." So that's when it was like kind of could or could not happen, and I made an El Nino video.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because last year around like July or August time frame, people were thinking that there was going to be a weak El Nino that winter, but then it quickly switched to La Nina, which is interesting. And
Yeah,
so people remembered that and were a little more careful this year.
yeah, for sure. I, you know, I wasn't. Last year was kind of an off year for me. I wasn't really paying as much attention to weather as I have been.
Yeah.
But the T depth anomalies this year for me were undeniable. That's kind of what led me to believe that we would probably head into El Nino conditions.
Yeah.
Uh,
I between like I think 2012, 2013, that winter was just awful and it kind of turned me off to looking at weather for until 2017 and then like that hurricane season just really turned me on to weather again and I made a personal winter forecast for that winter but I didn't release it because I just wanted to test out like how I was doing with that.
yeah.
I might actually
Um, what were we gonna say?
I might actually be able to show that. I remember seeing it. I can't remember where it is though.
Yeah, look for that. But what I was gonna say is, last year we had all the hurricanes and everything, like you said, and tropical storms. I found a direct correlation between having a La Nina winter after extreme hurricane years, and then having an El Nino winter after having very quiet hurricane years. So that was also another one that led me to really believe that there would be an El Nino.
Yeah.
How do you think Thanksgiving will be for Connecticut this year? Probably cold since you're in Connecticut, but we'll have to wait and see as we get closer to November. That is why I love upstate South Carolina. We still have 4 seasons, but winters are not so brutal. Born and raised in Reading, PA. We have not seen a lot like crazy since 2015 to 16. Yeah, I think 2015 to 2016, a lot of people in the South actually got a pretty average amount of snow or above average, which is just so weird because it was such a warm winter.
Yeah.
So that just goes to show that like the averages over an entire season doesn't define the entire winter for you.
I remember I can't remember which year, but I I it was I think it was 2014, 2015. That year it was colder than usual all across like the whole east, but the biggest snowstorm I got was like 4 inches of snow and 2 inches of sleet, which was just I
No, you said 2014 to 2015?
yeah.
Okay.
I think that year, that same storm, you got like 6 to 8 inches, and I got like
Oh
two,
yeah,
two
I
to
remember that.
four.
Yeah,
Yeah,
'cause we streamed about that one a few times, I think.
yeah,
That one looked like it was going to be huge for a while. I remember the Weather Channel came out with a forecast saying like 12 to 18 inches from Raleigh to Virginia Beach. That's when I was
yeah.
like, "Whoa."
I was really hoping, but
Yeah. Then it was kind of a bust everywhere, but specifically where it sleeted really bad.
yeah,
That one I even ended up sleeting over and freezing rain at the end. The freezing rain, this has been a trend lately. I don't know what it is, but this didn't used to happen really for me. But that storm, I got like half an inch of freezing rain over the snow, and there was just this like ice layer over it, this thick ice layer that you could almost walk on top of. And literally every big snowstorm we've had, except for the one last year or like this previous winter, has had that basically where it'll be like, okay, they're calling for like 6 to 10 inches, and then we end up just getting about six with like an inch of ice over it. And I think I literally could count like five snowstorms since 2014 to 2015 where that's happened.
wow. I
So
know
it doesn't make any
last year,
sense.
last year I had the biggest snowstorm I've had since the Boxing Day snowstorm in 2010. Uh, I got 8 inches of snow both times, both in like December 26, 2010, and last year. I think it was January 17th, earlier this winter. And I loved it.
Yeah, wasn't so was that the one that was also really big for the entire East Coast?
No, it was really only big for North Carolina area for
Oh,
some
okay.
reason.
Yeah, because I remember in earlier January I got like a 12-inch plus storm.
I think that storm I got a subsidence area where there was like 6 inches to the southwest of me and 6 inches to the northeast, but I got like an inch.
Oh,
It stayed there for a while though because it was below freezing for a few days,
oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
but like still I was unhappy after that storm.
yeah. It snowed so much, dude. Here, I've I was so happy. Like you wouldn't believe how happy I was. It was honestly, it was equal to the Boxing Day storm for me.
Yeah, I think the one I had on the 17th of January, where I got about 8 inches, that was equal to the Boxing Day as well.
Yeah.
Uh,
Last winter, like we said, it was really like for areas like DC and Northern Virginia, it was like awful if you love snow. But a lot of areas in the South like came out of it with like an extreme amount of snow compared to their average.
yeah, I've just pulled up my winter forecast, and if I can,
Let's see if you can screen share, if we can
yeah,
get you to screen
one
share
second.
somehow.
Okay.
Um,
It's interesting.
okay, so yeah, when I click on yours, it takes it to your screen. So if you screen
Okay.
share,
I think I'm screen sharing, am I?
yeah, yeah, it keeps going on and off. So
Okay. One second. Here, can you see it?
hold on. I'll see.
If
Is
not,
it?
I can fiddle with something if I'm not screen sharing.
I don't know if it's based on which one I'm clicking. Let's see. There's like
Oh,
an eight
yeah, there
second
we go.
delay. So
It says I'm screen sharing now. So
okay.
if I change to this is what I had in November. Um, can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm actually surprised I got fairly close because I thought the north would be slightly cooler than normal and the southeast would be slightly warmer than normal. And if I go to this, uh, let's do December to March. I did that was for December through February, but this, yeah, it was a little warmer than normal in the southeast and the plains. It was cooler than normal. So I did okay. I didn't get the west warmth.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah,
Definitely got the location of the cold really good.
yeah. I'm actually pretty happy with that. I know I
Yeah.
looked back in like April or May to see because I have a this winter analog spreadsheet. I'm not going to show it because it has my thoughts on it on this winter, but it I looked back at it and it said it was going to be cooler in the east and warmer in the west, but it didn't quite have this area down here in the south.
Mm.
So yeah, I'm pretty happy.
Oh, yeah. Pretty good. Yeah, I hope this year my forecast does pretty well.
Yeah, I'm I'm hoping my forecast that I'm building does pretty well because I'm liking the look of it so far.
Yeah. So far, do you think that your forecast agrees with mine?
Um, I think I'd have to look again at yours. I do remember parts of it, but I think for the most part at the moment it does.
Okay. That's good.
At least my analogs have it agrees for the most part. I haven't really gone through my analogs and like chosen which parts of them to like agree with in my full winter forecast and which ones to chuck out.
Mm. Yeah. Like there's some analogs where I'm like very like I'm really don't want to use them just because of how extreme they were. Like everybody wants to use 2009 to 2010, but I
Yeah,
don't want that. That's not going to be my main analog. That's like one of my bottom tier ones, just
it's
because it was such a weird year.
yeah, 2009, 2010 is actually not even one of my analogs.
The sea surface temperatures don't even add up that good, in my opinion. So
Yeah, let's see. It's just barely not an analog for me. Just
yeah.
barely.
Um, Honestly, North Carolina has seen a lot of snow, but no sticking a lot since 2015 to 2016. The only thing that sucks about them is the damage. Everything else is awesome about a hurricane, he's saying.
Yeah, I you see, I remember in this the Facebook group that he was talking about earlier. There's like a lot of people who say, "Ooh, I want to see a Category 5 hurricane," and some people say, "But you don't because it'll kill a lot of people." But
Yeah,
it's not that they want it to kill people; they want to be able to see the like power of a hurricane, which
yeah.
is
It's one of the challenges of being a weather enthusiast or a weather nerd.
yeah, you don't want things to kill people, but all the like a lot of the cool weather things do, which
Yeah.
sucks.
Everything that you want a hurricane to do, if you like extreme hurricanes, also kill people.
Yeah.
That's how you have to look at it. Like if you want a hurricane to be as strong as possible, you want it to be as deadly as possible. That's in other words. So it's a balance.
Yeah.
I guess I mean, it doesn't really matter if you hope for something or not. It's gonna happen whether we like it or not. So,
Yeah, basically. Um, and
uh,
and hurricanes are a thing that need to happen. They like carry heat from the equator up north, so because it leads to balance in the system.
uh, Javen Chase, guys, I have to go. See y'all soon, or hopefully I can make it back to the end. Well, thanks for being here, man.
Yeah, sorry, sorry we didn't respond to that earlier. Um,
Yeah, that was a few moments ago, to say the least. I can't believe chatting about weather is so cool. Great work. Thanks, dudes. You're welcome.
yeah, I wish like I wish I had more people to chat about weather with, because even though I'm in school for meteorology, uh, some of the people aren't as interested as I am in it. So, uh, finding people to talk about it with is always fun.
Yeah. Hey, well, you ever want to join the stream, man? Always welcome.
Uh,
It adds more valuable discussion. So
yep. Last year in Connecticut was crazy, especially in March. We got four nor'easters in 1 month. I remember seeing that, and I was happy with the amount of snow I got in January, but that type of like four nor'easters like once a week is just insane. I want to experience that at some point.
yeah, because I mean, with that, there's not even enough time for the snow to melt. So it's
Yep.
just piling on. Man, I want to move to somewhere that gets snow ASAP, but not too much where it's overwhelming. I'm gonna be like a child when I first see it. LOL. Yeah, I'm like a child when I see it for like the 50th time.
Yeah, same. It's been basically since late March since I've seen snow, because this year was kind of interesting that there was snow even like I know Raleigh got snow even in early April, like at least some flurries.
Mm.
So that was cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of smaller systems as well mixed in.
Yeah, that was fun to see.
Yeah, yeah. Um, have to go. Great listening to you. I'll be back. Stay safe. Thanks, Suzanne. Tuesday evening snow for Nebraska.
Yeah,
Maybe check it out.
there's a storm giving snow to the Great Plains and Canada. Help cool that area off right now.
Yeah, actually today I'm gonna make a forecast for this stuff
Mm,
later today. Snowstorm. I've
super.
been waiting too long to make the forecast lately for storms.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to do that type of stuff because I want to actually edit my videos, and I don't know how quickly I'll be able to edit them to the amount of like professionalness that I want to give them.
Yeah, it's all about accepting the video for what it is. Like just being like, okay, it's whatever.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, I have a new format of like how I make my videos. I used to use like Screencast-O-Matic or whatever, the one that everybody used to use, but now I
yeah,
just actually save pictures and I record the audio separately, and then I'll just put the
yeah.
audio in and do a slideshow.
That's that's kind of what I'm planning to do for my winter forecast. Though if I do need any video parts, I have OBS, which is a
Yeah,
nice open source thing.
yeah. It's like, especially for a winter forecast, you're not like showing anything that's moving, so it's not even necessary to like record the screen.
Yeah,
But if you're like forecasting a snowstorm, yeah, you have to have a way to um, have the show the model run and stuff like that. So it's very different. Here's something interesting. Somebody was asking earlier if I think that with or if we think with this upcoming cooldown that there will be possible snow in the Northeast. The 12Z GFS. This is very far out, guys. By the way, um, has the little bit of like a mixing going on the northern edge of this. It looks to be kind of like a clipper, sorta,
Yeah.
but mostly rain. But Tug Hill and the White Mountains possibly getting snow. So keep
Yeah.
that cool down.
Okay. Super Winter Storm 1993, Southeast to Northeast Atlantic. I was traveling in it. Just epic. I wish I was alive to see that type of thing because that, like, in 2000, there was like the biggest snowstorm that Raleigh, North Carolina had ever seen. And, uh, like 2 feet of snow. I just wish I was able to see those things and remember them. Is December looking cold or warm for the Southeast, and what are the chances of white Christmas this year? Last one was in 2010. Chattanooga, Tennessee got 7 inches. Um, eh, I'm not quite sure about December, actually. That's something I have to look at specifically. I've seen some pretty warm years for December and some pretty cool years, so I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, I, I one of those things. Like I feel like I have a gut feeling that December just won't be a frigid month. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, that's pretty typical. And cold winters usually January, February, March are a lot better than December, or at least the recent cold winters.
yeah. I know in last year it was like December was like either normal or slightly cooler than normal. And uh yeah, then January was just like frozen. But usually with El Ninos, February is the coldest month, so
Mm,
that's when I'll be looking
yeah,
forward to.
yeah. Um, it seems like usually we get a colder early December, and then it kind of warms off for like Christmas time, which kind of sucks. It seems to get a lot more mild during that portion of December for some reason, and then once it's like as soon as it's like January 1st, it's just like frigid all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So
I'm hoping this year cuz since I'm in a school, I'm traveling between like two different places for like winter. I'm hoping that uh, my school doesn't get snow when I'm off for Christmas break.
that would suck.
Yeah.
Something I did want to do. I wanted to review winter forecasts from. This is something that I was kind of trying to do in my last live stream, but this is something that I wanted to do. Um, I'll try to pull up as many as I can. 'Cause I've been getting a lot of comments like, "Oh, the Old Farmer's Almanac disagrees with you, so you must be wrong."
Mm. Javin Chase, welcome back. And Master Chief
Sure.
says nobody at my high school is interested in weather. As a matter of fact, I've been made fun of because of it. That's just rude. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, I guess. Yeah, just don't think about them. They're weird. I mean, we're weird for liking weather, but weird
yeah.
is normal. Weird is
They're weird
fine.
for not accepting
Yeah,
that. Yeah. So
everybody has like something weird or interesting that they're interested in. So
yeah. So
also,
let's
I
see.
think I've heard that Farmer's Almanac and the old Farmer's Almanac like make up their winter forecast like a year or two before the winter starts. So I never put any trust into them.
Yeah. I've never even worried about like them at all, really. Um, it's so confusing. There's like the Farmer's Almanac, Old Farmer's Almanac. I don't even know like which ones people are talking about. Uh, let's see, 2018. I mean, it's hard to get access to this because I'm pretty sure they don't want people to be able to just like see it.
Yeah.
They want them to buy their little magazine. So They said it disagrees with me.
Yeah, it says warm and dry in the far southeast and warm and wet in just the east. That's
Yeah, mild, snowy, mild. So they think 2015 to 2016, basically.
yeah. I I don't think they really put much thought into it, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta give it to them. At least they use words that we can actually take away from. I mean,
Yeah,
the AccuWeather forecast, my biggest problem is they say cold and mild periods. That goes for everywhere. That goes for everywhere. Cold shots. Okay, of course it's
unless you
gonna be
have
cold
a
shots.
wall-to-wall cold winter, which almost never happens.
Yeah.
That's gonna be true.
And oh wow, look, there's gonna be snow in Montana and Wyoming. Oh boy. That's like who's gonna be like, oh no, there was no snow. And so they can't be wrong. My phone is literally trying to talk to itself right now. Um, Mid-season rain slash snow. I guess that's a little more descriptive. Mild and dry in the Southwest. I mean, I guess this is like a little bit more extreme, like Idaho, Washington, Oregon.
Yeah.
But yeah, can't
Uh,
really go wrong with that
Ashley
forecast.
Ball says, I like the prospects of app runners this upcoming winter, especially if the NAO locks in negative for a while, coupled with an active southern jet. Live in southeast Kentucky and hopeful. Uh, yeah, I I'm hoping that here in Asheville area get some of that kind of cold and snow, but we'll see. I don't quite know at this point. I think March is looking like the month that that could most likely happen, though I'm not quite sure.
This the normal Farmer's Almanac forecast seems to agree a lot more with my forecast.
Mm.
Cold, moderate snowfall, not as harsh as usual. I like this descriptive wording a lot more than AccuWeather because at least like not as harsh as usual. So that could be wrong. Whereas AccuWeather, like, is that even a forecast at this point? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just me. I don't know.
Uh, AccuWeather doesn't really have much of a forecast. I do you know who Brian Brett Schneider is? He's a person. He's a climatologist on Twitter, and he makes a bunch of maps through that. And each year he has like joke winter forecasts that'll be like made of emojis and different things like that, making fun of people like AccuWeather.
Yeah. Uh, so yeah. So I like to answer the question of what do I think of all these forecasts. I definitely like the Farmer's Almanac the most out of these as far as the forecast and what I agree with. But I've never found like a very reliable source in any of these that is like consistently accurate. So
Yeah.
as 2015 to 2016, they called for cold, snowy, cold, wet, uh, cold, snowy. So you can see how accurate they were for that year or inaccurate because that was not the case. Um, yeah, yeah. I don't really have much more to add to that. If anybody has any more questions they want to ask in the stream, we'll go through and answer all of those for you. 2012 to
The weather
2013,
the
cold,
weather
snowy.
channel app the weather channel apps are our enemy in the south in winter if we want snow, so inconsistent. Yeah, I don't usually look at those long range forecasts that the weather channel and AccuWeather have. They're very they aren't right past like 5 to 10 days, just like most forecasts, like where you're forecasting day to day activity.
Uh, let's see. 2018 to 2019 winter forecast. So this one comes out first. Let's see.
99 Wolves 17. My first winter my first forecast for the winter was trash. Next one probably will be better though. Agree with you though. I have my new one going to Kansas and Oklahoma with cold and snow. It's what I have in my head. I didn't put it on paper. I'd be interested in seeing what you on paper what you have because I like to compare different things like that.
Hey, my forecast is up here. That's cool. I'm not even gonna lie. That's what I was looking for.
You see the one that has like A B C D E F G H and all that.
Where's that? Oh yeah, this one.
Yeah, that's from firsthand weather. It looks very similar to another person's style of forecast that I trust or that I think is pretty good at winter stuff.
Who's that?
Alan Huffman, he's another person on Twitter. He
Hmm.
mostly does things like specific snowstorms, though.
This isn't
But
even this year anyway.
yeah,
Yeah. Also, Josh Adams. I don't know if you know who he is from what is it? Forget his website. He does like the ABC. The tactic there is so that they have to actually read the whole article. To like, I guess they have the bar here, but usually they'll just do like the letters so that they have to read the entire article and see more ads.
yeah,
But I don't know why this person did it. I guess so that there's not as much words on the screen. Has
yeah.
anyone seen a giant circle around the moon taking up half the sky within 24 hours before a northeastern blizzard hits? I have seen two in my lifetime. That's
That's
really weird.
That's probably cirrus clouds making a halo around the moon, like light reflecting off the ice crystals in those cirrus clouds, and just making like not quite like a rainbow, but if it was the sun, it would be a rainbow type thing. I think
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Uh, do you expect snow for Dallas? I expect average amount of snow. Dark. I can't see her name. How
Dark
much?
Scythe.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Scythe. How much snow for Great Lakes area? That's difficult to say, but there's the potential for above average lake effect snow, as the lakes are above average temperatures right now. So there's the potential there. Um, yeah. So we close out all these. How much snow for Massachusetts? I think above average snowfall with below average temperatures is the best bet for you. Let's see. Close out this. I want to see how many subscribers you have now.
If you're if you're really into weather and you you think you know quite a bit, um, or you know more than the average person. I don't know. If you think you know quite a bit, take a look at stuff from Anthony Macio. I can put the name in the chat. Um, uh, he does really good stuff with like specific forcing, and I barely understand anything he says. So he's probably pretty smart with this kind of stuff. Yeah.
See on Twitter.
Yes, he's on Twitter.
Yeah, I'm looking for a lot of good people to follow on Twitter. So,
Yeah.
let's see. Oh yeah, I see here. Interesting. Yeah, this is already. I can tell this is very. Uh, scientific.
Yeah, he's. I can't understand most of his stuff, so. And I'm not like uh that great in weather. Like I'm very interested and probably know more than most people, but he's above and beyond.
Yeah, he seems
Um,
next level.
yeah. Just tuned in. Big Sur uh where is Big Sur? I can't remember. I don't know where that is. California. Warmer and drier for this winter and fire danger higher, yes. Um depends on I don't know if there's going to be less precipitation than normal in California quite yet. There was a lot of different. Okay, Central Coast. Um, I'm not quite sure at this point if Central Coast of California is going to be wetter or drier or any of that.
Yeah, I wish that the RGEM went out further sometimes.
I don't know how good it would do if it went out too much further.
Yeah, how do you feel about the HRDPS?
I don't think I've really looked at it.
I believe it's the even shorter range Canadian model.
Basically, like the HRRR.
Yeah, something equivalent, except it goes all the way up to 48 hours.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
The problem is it doesn't show like some portions of the United States.
Yeah, the southern US.
Yeah, you can see where it cuts off, kind of like that. Forget there's another model who that does the opposite. Is it the short
Um,
range
Jim
NAM?
Nel
Yeah, the short range NAM does it to Canada.
yeah. Jim Nelson is I don't know quite why it's been really windy in Florida this past week, but it isn't because of the tropical storm because that's way south in the it's near Mexico and Belize right now. So yeah, I'm not trying to be mean to Javin or Javen. I don't know how to pronounce that name. Sorry, uh, but it's not due to that tropical storm.
Also, Jim Nelson. Oh, hey, I was wondering where you were yesterday. Didn't stream. I was busy all day, unfortunately. How much snow do you think Tennessee will get, and do you think there will be major ice storms? I don't really know at this point. I think average snowfall, though. Just tuned in. Oh, yeah, you were just reading that one. Will Massachusetts be like 2014 to 2015? I think, but Boston will have quite a bit less snow. Don't look for all those back-to-back blizzards. Um, it might be a little less extreme than that, but uh, thanks. It's an oh yeah, that's what you were reading too. And there goes the GFS absolutely contradicting its previous model run, like always. I don't know exactly what you're talking about.
That happens quite a bit with basically every model.
Yeah,
it they change from they change a lot, so you can't really put all of your marbles on a model or just uh, yeah. And thanks Javin for clearing that up.
trying to see what I think for this snowstorm. See, the only problem with the FV3 is so far it goes wild with the snowfall totals on most things. It usually shows a ton.
Yeah,
So it's looking kind of like the long range NAM. Kind of what it looks like so far. The global NAM model, that's what we can call it.
oh whoops. One thing that I like to look at for like just general climatological data uh, is weatherspark.com. You can enter in almost any city and see what its climate is like.
Yeah,
Uh,
I
so
I used to go on that site all the time.
yeah, and so someone was asking how what San Francisco is like in the winter, and it says that like the average high in January and February is right around 55 to 60 degrees, and the average low is right between 45 and 50. So
Yeah, gets no use. I always look for where like when I'm like, I might want to move there. This is my first thing I look at.
yeah, same.
This is very important to me.
Yeah, weather is very important to where I plan to move because I definitely want more snow than I have now.
This is where I've thought about a lot, Laconia, New Hampshire.
Mm. Yeah, I've actually been thinking about like Dover, New Hampshire, or
Mm.
it's in southeast part of New Hampshire.
Yeah, kind of like Keene area, or sorry, like the Hampton area.
Yeah, near Nashua and different things like that.
Yeah, Keene is southwest. Keene, I thought about for a while, but that river valley, man, I feel like that would screw me up for life. Um, but yeah, you can see they get uh average liquid equivalent monthly snowfall. Pretty pretty significant amount.
Yeah,
That's basically all of New Hampshire, though.
yeah,
Like, it's
and
really tempting to go based off these averages, but then like even like Rhode Island and like Connecticut would just be so much more than I already get.
yeah. I remember I used to be looking at Flagstaff, Arizona, which is basically on top of a mountain, so it still gets snow. Um, it gets apparently. I was looking earlier, not at WeatherSpark, but at a different thing. I think the last few years it's gotten over 200 inches of snow.
Dang.
Yeah,
Uh, my dream place to live is around Utrecht, Netherlands. Their summers are 70 degrees. See, like I don't mind like 80 degrees in the summer either. It's just like once it gets to like 90 plus, I'm like, okay, I can live without this.
see, I want to live somewhere that it gets to 80 often enough that I can go swimming, like in the summer.
Yeah,
Uh, but in the winter, I want it to snow like somewhere between 40 and 60 inches or something like that.
yeah. New Hampshire is a pretty good place for that, man. Not gonna
Yep,
lie.
that's what I've been looking at.
Um, let's see. You said hurricanes spring warmth in northern part of the globe. What do blizzards do? Wait,
Yeah, hurricanes bring warm air further north. As it moves to the north, it brings the warm air and water vapor with it. Uh, Mid latitude storms, they're basically like a clash between warm and cold air. And so that they moderate uh, the air. They mix like the warm and cold air once the cyclone, the mid latitude storm, which is blizzards, d- uh, dissolve or once they've finished going through their life cycle.
Tiffany Griffith. Hey, how's it going? Um, hopefully you would see some deep cold from this catastrophic heat. TT. Yeah, I'm in South Florida too. Really hoping for some cold fronts later this month. You know it's crazy when you're hoping for cold fronts.
Yeah, I understand that Fox Camp. I I, as I said, I lived in North Carolina, and I still do. But uh, even then, like during the summer, I couldn't imagine it being like that year round, which it sometimes is for Florida.
Mhm. Tiffany Griffith, could you do a Halloween forecast? The only problem is that that's like kind of right outside the range of vision right now.
Maybe like around the 25th or something like that, we could talk about that.
Yeah, and I could honestly pull up and give thoughts, but we won't be able to see that far out. So, why does it keep staying on the icon even when I switch it to GFS? Okay, there you go. So, yeah, I'm interested what the 12Z does with the temperatures too. So, like, it's thinking colder so far, 14th, and it's having it a little bit earlier. So here's the 14th already cold in the east, and then it brings the ridge back actually now. So, but
Rip.
we'll see. Yeah, rest in peace, man. But the 6Z did not have this. Yeah, so it's gonna be back and forth battle for sure. As the EFS hasn't updated yet. Hey, is there something forming in the Gulf? Yes, I think it'll be a tropical storm only though.
Yeah. There are some models that strengthen it like way too fast. Like some of the hurricane models, like the HWRF, which you may see like on social media because I've seen it already, that show it much stronger than a Category 1 hurricane or a tropical storm. But they usually overdo that type of stuff.
Hmm. Yeah. Somebody commented, "Do you see cooler weather for Norfolk, Virginia? I'm tired of humid weather. I'm ready for fall weather for Norfolk, Virginia." Well, we'll at least get a short bit of cold temperatures during around the 14th.
Yeah.
So, and beyond that, they've been flip flopping. So it's very uncertain at this point.
Eventually, like even if it's warmer than normal, it'll be like in the 60s at some point. So that's gonna be nice. Even if it's like quite a bit warmer than normal in November, it'll still probably be in the mid 60s to low 70s. So that should
Okay, so
help.
just as I suspected, I was wondering why it would flip the warm to the east so quickly and like flip flop, and it's actually I think because it wants to pull this tropical storm up the east coast.
I
Um,
think it develops another one if that's the GFS.
yeah, so this is really weird. You see, like it's one low pressure system, and at this point, it kind of like tries to like split off or something. Very confusing stuff. Um, so I think that's why it shows that. So we'll have to take that with a grain of salt. Though it looks like it starts to ridge in the east before that happens anyway. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as we move forward. Uh,
Coldest I've ever felt was 32 degrees in January 2010. Good stuff. I feel sorry for you if that's the coldest you've ever felt. I
yeah.
like I know it. I've been to Wisconsin and it's been like below zero when I've been there, so I can. That's not like great, but I couldn't imagine not having felt freezing.
Yeah. I mean, some winters 32 feels kind of not that cold. So,
Yeah,
like last winter during January, it was like near zero for quite a while. So,
yeah. For me, it was below freezing for like a little over a week, which was the record for where I was at. So
yeah. I mean, Fox Kemp, I mean, one day maybe you'll just have to move away from Florida if you like cold weather that much, you know? Um, could I see a big hurricane Norfolk VA GFS is worrying me a little bit. Don't worry about it as of right now. even if it did come up, I don't think it would be a hurricane at that point.
And
Uh,
honestly, the worst you get from a storm at this point coming out of the Gulf is quite a bit of rain and maybe a little breezy, like 20 or 30-mile-an-hour winds at worst. So,
yeah, and it's the GFS, so I wouldn't worry too much.
yeah.
Um, uh, Now people are talking about temperatures now.
Yep.
Yeah, I would probably take 0 degrees over 100 degrees any day, quite
Yeah,
honestly.
same.
You can always put more layers on.
Yep. You can only legally take so many layers off.
Yeah. And I mean, depending on how warm it is, it might not even matter.
Yeah.
So,
Jim Nelson, I'll take negative 80 over 80 plus. Just kidding.
yeah, 80 plus ain't that bad.
Yeah.
Negative 80 is like, okay, you might die if you stay outside for like 10 minutes.
I've heard of something in Antarctica, like some of the researchers, they'll they say they join the 300-degree club where they'll go in a sauna where it's like over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. I can't remember how hot it is quite, but then they'll go right into the uh, the cold, or maybe it's a 200 degrees
Yeah, that
challenge,
sounds,
and they'll
yeah.
they'll go right into the cold right after that, and like that that sounds, and they have to do it naked apparently.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot of times I'll chase snowstorms. I've done it. I think I've chased 2 snowstorms in my life.
I have.
Um,
I haven't quite yet, but whenever the first chance I get to see lake effect snow, I'm doing that.
Hey man, maybe we need to plan a trip, man. We could both
Yeah.
go to Buffalo or something. That'll get that'll get a couple thousand views.
What is the record for the lowest temperature ever recorded? I think it's negative 126 degrees in Vostok, Antarctica.
Are we due for a cooler than normal month for Norfolk, Virginia? We can't have above average normal month every month. Yes, we can. Um,
Never say
but
never.
um, I don't use terms like due for because weather doesn't work like that. You can have 6 months of above average temperatures, and weather does not care at all.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, just
yeah,
look at the NAO the past couple of winters. It's been like positive for the winter months since like 2013. It hasn't really been negative on average for the winter months since 2013, which is just
yeah.
insane.
Speaking of NAO, I guess looking at oscillations would be fun
Yeah.
because since we're on the topic of like, will it get cold? Will it not? Forget if you search oscillations if it takes you to the right page, the right NOAA
Yeah.
page. Okay. I
A little
think
a little more physicsy. I think if you just search NAO, you can get oscillation and
there you
stuff.
go. Uh,
There you go.
yeah. So NAO.
It's been above zero for like 5 months straight. uh,
um, yeah. So you can see we're forecasted to get around 0 degrees for after the 16th, according to the GFS or Ensemble Mean Outlook. P&A though looks to go positive after the around the 14th or 15th. That might be one of the bigger factors heading in. And also, the AO likes to approach right around 0 degrees. So, yeah. So, but NAO looks to possibly stay positive, but
Uh,
it approaches neutral right here.
GP client says the ENSO forecast still showing a 50-50 chance of El Nino. I think that's for this fall because I've read the National Weather Service's like monthly briefing on the El Nino, and it said for the fall there's like a 55% chance that an El Nino forms, and by winter about a 70% chance that it's there. So
Uh, okay. I'm probably not going to get no snow this year in Alabama. Maybe. Don't lose hope. You guys, there will be a lot of Gulf lows this year to produce snow in Southeast this winter. Maybe.
I think there's a higher chance than normal if that helps.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
The record high for snow where I live is 18 inches, but the highest in my life was about 7. Yeah, that's about the same for where I am right now. Uh, 18 inches, and the highest I've seen is about 8.
Um, oh, back on chasing snowstorms. 'Cause I was just talking about that. Do you remember the blizzard? Like it was like the blizzard of a lifetime, man. Where northern VA,
Uh,
uh, in these areas got like just destroyed with snow.
what
Uh,
year was it?
what year was it? Maybe uh, maybe it was 2015 or 2016. Uh, northern.
I think I remember something like that. I think I remember I think I remember hearing that you were chasing a snowstorm and going like to Charlottesville or something like that. I can't remember.
Oh yeah, that's where I was gonna go.
Yeah.
I ended up going to Winchester. Let's see. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel already, make sure you do. I post videos like this. I do live stream, seasonal forecasts, monthly forecasts, and other sorts of forecasts. Also, make sure to subscribe to Jacob's channel on the bottom right-hand corner. He might leave his link again for you guys to go ahead and click if you want to subscribe to that. Also, make sure to keep leaving comments and questions, and we'll keep answering them. Yeah, so I think this is it right here. Wait, no, that's the Blizzard 96. My bad. It looked just like that, actually. Like the geography of it, I guess. There's 1996 again.
Holy cow, 2 feet of snow in Alabama in 2016.
Okay, so here it is. January 25th, 2016.
Hmm. 1 second.
As this loads up.
Yeah.
Yeah, my channel had 4,000 subscribers a week ago.
You've been uploading stuff pretty consistently, though, so I can see why.
Yeah, I'm very appreciative that people want to subscribe and everything, are interested in weather.
Oof. Yeah, around 2 feet in Northern Virginia.
Yeah, I was right here where my cursor is
Wow.
in Winchester, Virginia. Let's just say that was probably the greatest day of my life.
1 inch Raleigh. Yep, that seems about right.
Yeah. The crazy part is we were thinking about going to Roanoke. Could you imagine the disappointment? 12 inches instead of over 30 inches.
Yeah.
It
Dang.
was so fun. I'm so glad my dad was willing to take me up there. That was definitely one of the greatest experiences of my life. I mean, it was so much snow you fall down, and it was fluffy too. It wasn't like wet snow. You fall down in it, and it covers the top of you. You get buried in it. I
I
mean, it was over my knees.
I
So
can't wait to experience something like that.
yeah,
I'm hoping I do this winter in Asheville.
Yeah. Let's see. I like the forecast of yours. Thank you. Let's see. We're probably going to end this within the next 10 minutes, guys, because I haven't eaten it all today yet. Um, but if there's any last minute questions you guys have, make sure to hit us up with those. Let's see here. I'm checking on my YouTube comments real quick.
Winter Storm Jonas. I think Jonas
Um,
was further north.
yeah.
No, it wasn't. It was, yeah, Winter Storm Jonas. You were right, Javin. Uh, Someone is asking if you have a Twitter.
Oh, no, I don't. I don't have one that I use for weather, so.
Yeah. I have a Twitter, but I barely use it, so please don't. You shouldn't. You probably shouldn't follow me. So.
Yeah, I usually use that for sports mostly.
Mm,
I'm a big sports guy, so.
yeah. Panthers fan and you're a Pats fan.
Yep.
I wonder why you're not a Redskins fan. Hmm.
Well, first off, because they're racist, not to get political.
Yep.
Second off, um, who would want to be a Redskins fan when none of my family is anyway? And
Yeah.
also, I want to move to New England anyway. And I visited 3 times, and I've just fallen in love with New England. So I'm an all New England sports fan, all Boston sports. Rich history there. It's a real sports city.
Yeah. I mean, they've won a ton. Like Boston, in their many different sports, have won a ton of different trophies in the past, like, decade.
Yeah, since 2000, about the Red
Yeah.
Sox have won the World Series, I think 3 times. Bruins have won the Stanley Cup once, and then the Celtics have won the NBA championship. I want to say twice, maybe once or twice. So yeah, and then the Patriots obviously 5. So it's been busy. When is your next video going to be? I think today I'm going to make a snowfall forecast for the snowstorm in the west. So look forward to that. Will I see reports drop to 40 and 50s for Norfolk, Virginia? We passed due for low
I, th-
humidity. I don't know what that
I
means
think
actually.
they're asking if dew points will drop to 40s and 50s. No.
Oh, um, I think once the trough comes through, like once the trough's over us, it'll be around 60s or 50s in the dew points.
Yeah.
Uh,
This summer has been anomalously humid, so I don't expect next summer to be this bad.
um, did you say the Redskins are racist? Look, I'm not gonna get into it. Okay, it like I don't even like care that much. It's just I don't want like even if there's a chance that it is, I don't want people to think that of me. You know what I mean? So and even I don't have really much of a reason to be a Redskins fan anyway.
Winter Storm Pax was Javin's favorite winter storm.
Winter Storm Packs. I don't know them by name like that. That's my problem.
Oh, that's one in I think that's the one where I got like one of the storms that I got like a bunch of sleet, or I was right on the line of sleet and snow.
Oh yeah, this is one of those.
Yeah,
This
Charlotte
was like one
area.
where I didn't do good.
Yeah, Charlotte area did pretty well. Uh, areas basically to the west of the Charlotte to Raleigh corridor did good.
Yeah. It looks like I only got about 2 inches or less, so I
Yeah.
was probably disappointed. Dude, how much I can't. Look, I don't like the Weather Channel that much, but I gotta say, their graphics are pretty looking.
Yeah, they
Like
are.
this, I love the way that looks. So I usually watch just to see like the graphics. It's really nice looking.
Yeah.
I It's a work in progress to get my graphics to look this good. So
I
I'm
don't
working on it.
think I don't think my graphics will be that good because I don't have like Photoshop, and even with GIMP, I don't know how to use it. So I'm just using Paint.net, which is basically a better Microsoft Paint.
Did you say you don't have Photoshop?
Yeah,
That would be really handy.
yeah. I'm just not gonna pay that much for it. I'm especially since it's something you have to keep like paying.
Reoccurring, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean it's really good. I think it's the only way to take your graphics to the next level, really,
yeah. I'm
to make it.
definitely gonna try and make my graphics better, but this probably work on
I want
that.
to go through. This is something we could do before we get off. We should go through like every snowstorm. I want to find a lot of the ones that affected me just to like uh, remember what the snowstorms were like. That's always fun.
Yeah,
Trying to remember. I remember Atlas, Boreas, because this was the first year there was winter names. I think 2013 to 2014.
Winter Storm Octavia is another one of Javin's favorites.
Yeah, winter storm Electra. I'll know by what time of year it is, if it even had affected me at all. Electra. Okay, so this was like a Northeast special type thing. Pretty good for New England. Don't know what the date was on this one though. Electra Falco. That sounds like it affected me somehow. I don't know.
Falco's just such a weird name.
Yeah, it had to have affected me. Nope, of course not. uh,
Yeah, the two biggest winter storms I remember that affected me are Boxing Day and the one earlier this year in January. So
mhm.
I haven't gotten much out other than that, except for 2009, where I got like a 5 or 6 inch snowstorm.
Another Northeast special. Ion. Winter Storm Ion.
I think
I feel like what I'm
Leon.
gonna name my kids. I'm gonna name my kids names like this, like Hercules.
I don't know if I'm gonna have kids.
It's not for everybody.
Yeah, Winter Storm Leon.
Okay, so here's one that affected uh, me at least somewhat. Looks like I got 1 to 3 inches. I think I got about 3 inches from that one.
Yeah, I don't think I got anything.
Yeah, it's really hard to remember. Chronos. How do you spell that? Yeah.
Kronos is
Oh,
a
okay. Here's the
crazy
one I was
name.
thinking of. This one was kind of like a. It was like a really almost out to sea nor'easter. This I think I ended up getting like 9 inches from this one.
I don't remember it, so don't know how much I got.
That can't be it because they must have been underdoing the forecast quite a bit. I know I only got 2 snowstorms that year. That's all I remember. As I actually left the comments unopened for quite a while, so. Winter Storm Inga. Winter Storm Inga had major ice there for the south. Will I see a cooler summer next year in Norfolk, Virginia? Probably not. I don't know.
Yeah, summers seem to just not be cool anymore.
It's the way it should be.
Yeah.
2014. Actually, let's go. Actually, let's stop doing this. It's going to take forever. I'm too hungry to do this. I just want to answer questions. Winter Storm Igna and Hunter got me last year. Yeah. Last minute questions, guys. Bring them in. If there is any.
I think Inga was the one that brought me the 8 inches or so.
The Inga or Igna? Somebody spelled it.
Igna, I'm not sure. But yeah,
That's definitely how you spell Winter Storm, too.
Any last minute questions, guys?
Yes, because my stomach needs food, and we have pizza downstairs that we ordered yesterday, and I'm kind of scared everybody's eating it without me.
I know that feel.
Yeah. Well, how long have you guys been live for? I think
Since
2 hours at least, or
yeah,
2.5.
since about 10:40.
Yeah, as long as the questions keep coming in, I usually just stay on. Okay. I'm giving it till 1:30, then I'm getting off, so you guys better hit us up with the last minute questions. Winter Storm Igna, bring me
that first picture for I was looking at your the stream on YouTube. The first picture on Igna was basically the snowfall map.
Oh, this one.
Yeah. It just
6 to 8. Okay.
Yeah, just over that small area got a good snowstorm.
Looks like I only got like 1 to 2 inches.
Rip.
Okay. Wow, the questions checking in. We'll see a Northeastern soon for Norfolk versus we are now 4-1. What? Due for one? Again, like I don't use due for. Nor'easters, as long as there's not a trough in the east, the nor'easters really aren't going to come. So,
yep, they'll choose to affect you when it happens.
Yeah, it'll all hit at once. I'm gonna have a hamburger. I'm gonna get fat by December. It's a good tactic to stay warm.
I know that feel.
Winter Storm Iris beat Sierra Nevada. I got 10 feet. Wow. 10 feet?
Yeah, Sierra Nevadas get a lot of snow whenever something hits it.
I'm that small area that got a good snowstorm.
Same.
Oh, the yellow one. Nice. Those 6 to 8 storms, man, they scare the crap out of me. I always feel like they're going to have mixing issues.
This one didn't quite have a mixing issue because it the cold front came and then it started snowing. And
that's always good.
The cold front basically stalled between Raleigh and Fayetteville. So
did it start sticking immediately or did it melt on contact and then
it took a little while to stick, like maybe an hour or so, but it was light in the beginning. But then it was heavy in the beginning and it took like 20 minutes to stick.
Yeah.
So it wasn't bad.
I hate when like it like melts on the ground and then it takes like 2 hours to start sticking. And then I'm like, all
Yeah.
this wasted potential.
Well, it's about 1:30, so
Yep. All right, guys, we're gonna head out. Maybe during the winter or maybe some other time. We will both stream together soon. But as always, I'll probably be streaming again tomorrow. And when I'm on vacation, I'm leaving Tuesday. I'll probably be streaming like every day just because I won't have a lot to do. So I'll be doing more weather in the hotels is at night when there's not a lot going on. So look forward to that, guys. Um, I'll see you guys later.